I mean, damn. G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Working on Cole the Patrol. Tonight, I'm going to continue on the tray build. I've got shite loads to do. I can't say the other word on the internet without getting demonetized, so got shite loads to do here. Did a pretty big mistake. Did a bit of a mischief here. I'll show you that in a second. Staying back after work to get some stuff done on it. I do want to get this like center headboard, this beam here. It's just resting there at the moment just to get my height, but want to get that on. I do have my tail lights that actually came yesterday in the mail, so I'd love to get them just sort of fitted up, see what they look like. Pretty stoked with them. Heaps more welding, heaps more cutting to do. It's just heaps to do, all right? So yeah, I'll show you my mistake, eh? Yes, redoing work. That's what I love to do. The mistake that was made was actually on this beam. So when we fitted it, it was square. When we welded it, it probably tweaked out a bit because it had no bracing. So what you really should do if you build a tray, or what I should have done, is I should have had this beam in place. But the reason I didn't put that in place is because I wanted to see the tray on the ute to know where to put that beam. So I decided to like nose it to the top of this seam here. But that did mean that I had to cut here, cut around the back, cut around the bottom, and also cut that completely off, take about 10 mil out of him to allow this to sort of move in. And now that beam fits in there. Before it was 1680, which is the inside measurement of the tray, to here. And when you come up to here, it was 1690, so it was 10 mil out. And you know, even though you sort of can't see that, I mean, I could when I stared at it, but I didn't realize until I measured it. It just means that my sheet, when I actually go to sheet this, would have had to be tapered in 10 mil, which is just a massive F around. So yeah, I needed to sort that. So that's why that's all cut up. I'm going to rectify it right now. It's actually almost rectified. I just have to basically get this height right. So I have to measure in between these two bars, get that right on both sides to where I'm exactly happy with. Then this just presses over to that, which makes that a perfect 1680, which is the inside measurement once again. So it'll make that 1680. It can't be anything less if that side and this side are hard up against each other, if that makes sense. Then I can tack weld that, and then we can stuff around with this headboard up the top here. So that's going to be the first step. It sucks going backwards on stuff like this, but if you leave the little things, it turns into like a massive job later. So that's why we're getting into it now. It's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. And I'm really sorry if you hear the fan in the background. I have to have it on because it's like 100,000 degrees of mugginess right now. Taillights I did get, I like these black ones here. I think they look pretty cool. I'm not a fan of like the rubber grommet style that they sort of come in, like the light actually pushes out of the grommet, which means that it's not going to sit perfectly flush, which was my original idea. I wanted this light to sort of recess into the box. But these are cheap. The lights that I actually do need, they're not all black, they're like black and red, and they will recess, but they're literally $400 for 4 lights, and I ain't about that life. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are sick of like watching me grind and weld and stuff already, but tonight's just going to be more grinding and welding, and I'm sorry about it, but this is all sort of fun stuff to me. I do really enjoy fabricating. I think it's really cool that we've made a tray and even come this far. Like it's seriously pretty cool. And I really urge people to just have a crack at stuff, because honestly, when I sort of thought about building a tray, I thought, oh, it'd be easy. And yes, it was a little bit harder than I expected, but me and Ryan both put our heads together and we got there. So, you know, I think you guys can do the same. Anyway, enough of that talk. Let's get to building this tray. Doesn't everyone just look way better in safety glasses? Like, it just makes your sex appeal just grow tenfold. I reckon they're mint. I just got those clamps there to help hold it in because I'm by myself tonight. So yeah, you just got to find anything you can in the workshop to make your life a bit easier, because that is really hard to hold. Yeah. Yes. so I just gone through, checked all my measurements like 5 times, and you can see just down there that it's touching there, it's touching on the other side. It's pretty well spot on. It's 555 perfectly to the bottom on each side. So I'd say that's square. We can stuff around with the headboard after, but just want to get that tacked in. I've covered Cole up because I don't want to stuff any of the brand new glass, so she's all covered up. Well, I mean he, or actually I don't know what it is. It's a boy. Cole's a boy. That's, yep, he's a man. Alright, so I got 2 solid welds down this each side and tacked around the back so it can't spin. So we should be right to take this off. That. And then we have to sort that out. Which means if this is square, then I can measure from the top to there, line that up, and then just tack that. Shouldn't be too hard.
2 hours later.
The height of there is exactly the same as the height as there. The bar is across, which means our sheet's going to be square, which means I've finally fixed the mistake. The mistake that just took 2.5 hours to fix. So this is why you measure 70 times and cut and weld once. Learn from my mistakes, people. I'm going to leave all the flap disking for a day that I can actually take the tray off. I'm really not a fan of fresh paint being covered in grinding dust. I'm over it already. So there's still a crap ton of welding obviously involved in this, but I really want to get these lights in. So these are the lights we've got here. They're an eBay special as per usual with my builds. They pretty much run this rubber grommet, so that just comes out of there. So you basically just got a hole saw out the size of that rubber grommet and press that in, and the light will sit in it. So I did go and buy this hole saw today, and it's just about the right size. I might have to die grind out a little bit. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark, this is a 150 box, so I'm going to mark dead center and draw pretty much a line across. Then I'm going to get the back of that hole saw and I'm going to figure out where the lights are going to look good. Keeping in mind I need a number plate, and I've got 2 number plate lights in here. With the reverse lights, I'm getting 2 little mini light bars. They're either going to go here or on the side. I'm not really sure yet. I'm thinking probably keep it like flat instead of mounting it on the side, but I'm not sure yet about that. But yeah, I'm just going to start marking stuff and sort of see what looks good, because just got to think that that's got to go there. It only just fits. I wish it was a little bit smaller actually. Like I really wish it was a little bit smaller. It literally only just fits in there, but that's what we're working with. So let's get it happening. Righto guys, so right here is my first center punch. That's where the hole saw will go. Now what I've done is I've basically measured half of one of these. I've basically measured half of the rubber flange. So from there, from that center point, basically the outside of the light will go in a full 360 there. So he'll actually end up, the outside flange will end up right there. Then I've gone 20 mil from there to there, and our second light is going to be there. So 20 mil spaced apart. Obviously 69 from there is our center line again. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to mark the other side and start drilling. Not gonna lie, when that drill kicks, it's like on your wrist. But look at it, looks absolutely sick. I think that honestly, I think that's the perfect spot for them. Like, I didn't want to come too close to the corner and have it like overlapping. I think that was like a good choice of spot. They're perfectly even. God, it just made it look so much better. Like, honestly, so much better. So I have so much cleaning up to do because that is all inox and dust and like grinding dust, whatever you call it, grinding flake. Look how much of it is, and all inside there. So I'm gonna have to file it first and then just vacuum, but I'll be back in a sec. Honestly, guys, how bloody mint. These rubbers here, I mean, these are just cheap lights, so don't expect anything great. But these rubbers have these little lips on them that have to push in past that hole. So that goes in, and when I first drilled that, I was like, oh man, it just falls out. I've drilled it too big. Done a mischief. But you just go around and push them in. The thing that I don't like is how high it sits up here. But I got to remember that we are sheeting this with 4mm sheet, so there will be another 4mm on top of this, and I will just Sikaflex around it. So that's not the end of the world. I am going to pull the plastic off this, and I guarantee I'll end up scratching it before the build is finished. Just goes in like that. So I'm not sure if this episode is going to keep going. I might like sort of drag it on to tomorrow night as well. But got a fair bit done tonight, even though it doesn't look like it. Backtracking on that mistake hurt me for about 2 hours. But, you know, live and you learn. So hit the like button if you're enjoying watching Cole, because I'm enjoying making these episodes and I'm really enjoying the build. Every time I look at it now, I just think, damn, I can't wait to drive it. So if you guys like it, you know what I mean? Do it. And also, 60% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. That's horrific. So if you're not subscribed, do it.
What are you waiting for? Do it!
Do it now. Catches.
The next day.
Last night we got the center beam done. I also want to do maybe some cross braces, like a V pattern. So 2 bars like this, down and up on the headboard. So I don't know. I really don't know what to do with the headboard. I think that's going to look best. I've looked up a couple photos. I think round bar would look better, but I've got heaps of the 50x50 and 50x75 box left over, so I'd rather just use that. I've already paid for it, might as well use it, eh? So pretty much these cross sections will just go in the center of the tray along it so I can lay the floor because the sheet's not wide enough. I'm going to actually start cutting these up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do. -1 because I've already cut one. But yeah, once these are cut, we can get into trying to make that V. Got a couple weird angles to work with, but yeah, I need to start working because I don't want to finish late tonight. So I'm going to cut 4 of these. Righto guys, so that center bar pretty much all welded in except for the bottom, so the tray's obviously going to have to come off one more time for me to complete the welding on it. Looks pretty mint. I do need to get some sort of brace here so that if you step on the floor here, your foot doesn't like flex it down. But as you can see, I've got this, I guess you call that like a cross head bar, sort of just clamped there at the moment. It already had a 45 on it, this cut, so it sort of just worked all right. The cut isn't a 45 by the way, but it just sort of sits there. But that's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm going to cut it so it's going to go a V like that. I'm going to cut it and try and splice it like perfectly into the top corner up there. But, you know, we can only try it and tuck it in and see if we like it. I'm going to get around to sort of marking that and cutting out 2 pieces and yeah, we'll just see what it looks like, see what you guys reckon, because I don't know yet. I don't know about 50mm box. It would look better in tube, but yeah, that's where we're at. Pretty well, you just line your center line up, then I've got that pretty much bang in the middle of that, and all we need to do is come around the back and just put your pen on a bit of a 45 and just trace along. A couple of marks doesn't hurt. So then you basically come up to the underside here, back of that. That is going to leave us with our cut lines. I actually reckon that looks friggin' mint. I really like that. I reckon that looks cool, as the cuts are good. It's nice and flat down there, grade up there. So, just need to recreate that on another bit of steel, and then we'll try it out. All right, another cool trick I just learnt is, this is the first piece we've made, and it actually fits in pretty bloody good. So all I need to do is clamp this to this bit of steel and copy the cuts. It's pretty simple. Perfectly cut. Perfectly cut. And that was a bloody good trick. Saved me a lot of time. Right, I think some people might not like this, but I really, really like it, so I'm gonna run it. I think that looks sick. From back here, it just gives it this really nice, like, sort of tapered, tough look. I think it's a good angle too. But if it does start to annoy me and I want to use tube, I can always just chop that off and go tube. So I'm gonna run that for now. I'm gonna tack it all in place. It's so close to the cab, so it will just get tacked. And then when the tray gets pulled off, I'll weld it. But if I start to hate it within a couple of days, you know, I'll just cut it out and put some tube in it. That's the best thing about tacks. So stoked with that. Obviously, it's going to look way better when it's black. It's going to look way better when it's sheeted as well. So obviously the sheet's going to come up, and goodness gracious God, it's turned out so good. I mean, damn. I definitely reckon that those V-bars helped heaps with just the rear of it, like the look of it. It just sort of tapers in the top. The lights growing on me. They're definitely growing on me. I mean, I've always loved black lights. I just mean the size is growing on me. But yeah, that looks sick. It's obviously just tacked in for now because, well, when it's off the ute and I can actually get to it properly, we'll lay some fat dimes on it. But for now, that's how it's sitting, and I am wrapped. So real quickly, if you guys do want to help support the channel, we do have a website now, roamlife.com. If you want a sticker, maybe just go check it out. There's some pretty cool stuff on there. So yeah, if you guys want a sticker that looks mint, go check it out.